The town had always whispered about the abandoned Blackthorn Manor, a mansion that loomed like a forgotten secret at the edge of the forest. No one dared to go near it. Some claimed to have heard faint music drifting from its broken windows at night. Others swore they saw candlelight flickering behind the curtains, even though no one had lived there for decades. But I wasn't like the others. I was drawn to the unknown. It started with a dream. A voice, soft as silk, whispered my name in the darkness. It was neither threatening nor familiar. It was inviting. Come to me. The voice was seductive, dripping with promise. I woke up with my heart pounding, the taste of roses and something bitter lingering on my tongue. I told myself it was just a dream, but I knew better. The next evening, I found myself standing at the rusted gates of Blackthorn Manor. The iron bars were ice cold under my touch, as if the house itself rejected me. Yet an unseen force urged me forward. The front door creaked open on its own. My breath hitched as I stepped inside. The grand hall was frozen in time. The air smelled of aged wood, candle wax, and something sweet, like perfume and decay. The chandelier above flickered, casting long shadows that seemed to move even when I stood still. Then I heard it, the soft rustling of silk against the floor. And there she was. She stood at the top of the grand staircase, her dark gown flowing like liquid night. Her skin was porcelain pale, and her raven-black hair cascaded in soft waves down her shoulders. But it was her eyes that ensnared me, deep, endless pools of darkness that held both invitation and warning. She did not move. She did not speak. She only watched, and I could not look away. A shiver ran down my spine, but it wasn't fear. It was something else, something dangerous. Then she smiled, and the temperature in the room dropped. You finally came. She descended with inhuman grace, the candlelight bending toward her as if worshipping her presence. My body felt heavier the closer she got, as though the very air around her was charged with unseen power. "You've been dreaming about me, haven't you?" she whispered, her fingers tracing the edge of my jaw. Her touch sent an icy shudder through me, but I did not pull away. She leaned in, her lips mere inches from mine. "Let me show you eternity." Then she kissed me. A sensation like fire and ice surged through my veins, stealing the breath from my lungs. My knees buckled as my mind swirled into darkness, and then I was no longer in the grand hall. I awoke in a four-poster bed, draped in silk and surrounded by flickering candlelight. She sat at the edge, watching me with an unreadable expression. "You're mine now," she murmured. I tried to speak, but my throat felt dry, as if I hadn't spoken in years. "What are you?" I finally rasped. She laughed, a sound both beautiful and chilling. A curse, a gift, a hunger. I felt it then, the pull, a longing deep in my chest, something I couldn't explain. It was as if I had been hollow before, and now I was finally complete. I was changing, and I was afraid to know what I was becoming. I was not alone. As the days passed, I began to see them, the others. Men, their faces pale and their eyes vacant, wandering the halls like ghosts. One of them, a man who looked no older than 30, met my gaze one evening. "You should leave while you still can," he whispered. "She won't let me." He shook his head. "She doesn't need to. You won't want to leave soon." And that was the real horror. He was right. I felt it growing inside me, a deep, gnawing need I could not name. My dreams were no longer my own. They were filled with her, her voice, her touch, her kiss. One night I found myself kneeling before her, worshipping her like a forgotten god. "Do you wish to know what you are becoming?" she asked, tilting my chin up. I hesitated, but I already knew. I was hers. I was cursed, and I didn't want to be saved. The last shred of my humanity fought against her. I tried to resist, One night I found a way to escape. I ran through the manor, through endless corridors that seemed to shift and change as if the house itself was alive. The front doors were ahead, so close, but before I could reach them, she appeared. "Why are you running, my love?" Her voice curled around me like smoke, seductive, suffocating. The walls trembled, shadows twisting into clawed hands that reached for me. I could leave. I could fight, but my body betrayed me. I turned to her, my breath shallow, and I whispered, "Kiss me again." She smiled, and the doors vanished. Now I stand at the edge of the manor, watching the next visitor, a young woman, drawn in by the same whispers that lured me. She does not know the truth. She does not know that I, too, was once like her. She does not know that soon she will belong to the darkness, just as I do, and I will watch as the cycle continues, forever.